So is the Jeep Gladiator, after all of these years, I believe we're in our 5th model year, is it a good quality vehicle? Is it something that you should buy? You know, I've had, what, 4 of them now? So obviously I like the Jeep Gladiator, but I thought it'd be interesting to kind of do a little research and see what's being said about it out in the world, out in the community. So we're going to run through the general consensus, I guess, of a Jeep Gladiator and whether or not I agree as a real owner, not a talking head. And that's the problem with a lot of these reviews that you see, right? There's somebody who picks up a Jeep Gladiator for maybe a couple, 3 days and then pronounces judgment on it based on their vast wealth of knowledge. I'm a real owner. I've had 4 of them. So let's start. First of all, what's the general word, I guess? And this is the 2025, by the way. It says here, the 2025 Jeep Gladiator is a very good vehicle. Well, that's a good start, but very good is kind of general, right? For specific buyers who prioritize rugged off-road capability, open-air fun, and Jeep's unique style over everyday comfort and refinement. Well, first of all, I don't know that I agree with probably a lot of that. I mean, I'm not a big-time off-roader, and it's not because I'm opposed to it. It's just I simply don't have the opportunity where I live. I would love nothing more than to take it out, put it through its paces, and run through the dirt, but it's just not the environment I'm in. It's not why I bought the Jeep Gladiator. It says here that it has unique style. Now that I agree with. When you see a Jeep Gladiator on the road, you know it's a Jeep Gladiator, right? There's no mistaking it for any other truck. Rugged off-road capability, again, we touched on that. Open air fun. It certainly has the capability for that. If I'm being honest, I don't run around a lot with open air because I live in deep South Texas where it's freaking hot. And to sit at stoplights or even on the freeway when it's 95 or 100 degrees with 80% humidity, it's not a whole lot of fun. Plus, you have to wear some kind of sunscreen when you do that because you're going to get fried. Unique style, unmatched off-road prowess, ability to remove the doors and the roofs, that's true. Updated technology. I would agree with that. There is a lot of good tech in the Jeep, and I know it's kind of weird to say. I mean, it is a Jeep and it is a truck, but they have put a lot of the most recent tech in it. And I will say, from a connectivity standpoint, as comparing it to my other truck, which is a 2025 Tacoma, they're ahead. I don't drop my phone. I don't kick out of Apple CarPlay. I don't get text messages and the volume drops. It gives me a notification, but it is a much better setup. I hate to say it, but it's true. They talk about drawbacks, including a rough ride and numb steering. It's no rougher than any other truck, in my opinion, and the steering is fine. Now, let me put a caveat there. There were steering issues, or there was a steering problem in earlier models. It seemed to wander a lot, but I have not noticed that in this truck, in the 2025. Poor fuel economy. It's a truck, first of all, and let me say, it's getting about the same fuel economy as the new Toyota Tacoma. Now, let's get into what they consider, they being the combined group of reviewers, I guess. The pros: exceptional off-road capability. They keep talking about this off-road stuff. And it's funny to me when off-road capability is mentioned because statistically, only 4 to 6% of people who have four-wheel drive vehicles ever put them into four-wheel drive, meaning they don't take them off-road, right? But let's just go with it. It says the Gladiator is a true off-road all-star, especially in Rubicon and Mojave trims. Yeah, Mojave, if you're running high-speed off-road. So unless you live in a desert that's flat and long, you're probably not going to be running high-speed off-road. So I don't know if I'd agree that the Mojave is like an all-star, but it certainly is capable. Designed to excel at rock crawling and high-speed desert running. Again, unless you live near a desert, I don't know who's doing that. Rock crawling, again, kind of depends on where you're at. Unique open air experience. You can't argue this. It's the only pickup truck that allows you to remove the doors and fold down the windshield, providing an unmatched convertible-like experience. If you fold down that windshield when you're driving around, you better be wearing a helmet with face shield or something, especially if you're in a rocky area with any speed, because everything's going to be coming at you, right? Bugs in your teeth, rocks in your forehead. Who does that? Leave a comment. Let me know. If you've got a Jeep Gladiator and you're an off-roader, do you put the windshield down when you go out riding around? I mean, it's a cool experience. I think I've experienced that in Jeep Wranglers. But I wouldn't do that probably, if for no other reason than it's kind of a process to do. Let's see, unmatched convertible-like experience. I would say, yeah, it is a convertible experience. Updated tech. The 2025 model features the new 12.3-inch Uconnect touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and Amazon Alexa voice support. The system is great. It has been for me anyway. I think it works fantastically. One of the best ones that I've experienced in a truck line anyway. Strong towing and payload. The Gladiator offers robust towing and payload capacities, making it a practical choice for work and recreation. Can't disagree with that. I don't do any towing, but I do know it's rated at some pretty strong numbers. Customization options. With numerous trims and options, you can create a highly personalized Gladiator. Not to mention the aftermarket support. I think between the Tacoma and the Jeep line, not just the Gladiator, there are a myriad of options and things that you can add to or purchase to make the Jeep your own, particularly the Gladiator. Cons, these will be interesting. Poor on-road manners. The solid axles contribute to a jittery, uncomfortable ride, slow and vague steering, and clumsy handling on paved roads. I completely disagree. Again, I'm a real owner. Even the older ones that had the bit of wandering steering were not horrible. I drove one for 19 hours almost straight, and I never got uncomfortable. My rear end never hurt. The back of my thighs never hurt. I wasn't bounced around like crazy. And I drove on some pretty nasty roads. Also drove in the mountains a little bit with it. I would disagree with that one. Low fuel economy. Its heavy-duty components and unrefined 3.6-liter V6 engine results in subpar fuel economy compared to its competitors. What? It's equivalent to its competitors, at least as far as the Tacoma goes. I don't know what they're talking about. High price. The Gladiator carries a significant price premium over other mid-size pickups. Not anymore. It used to be that way. Now we have, and I keep comparing it to the Tacoma because I have a 2025 Tacoma, as I mentioned. It's in line. It might be a tad bit more expensive when you go way up in the trim levels, but not so bad in the mid-range to lower, in my experience. Cabin noise. The cabin can be quite noisy, especially at highway speeds. That I would agree with. It's basically a box on wheels with no insulation. It is louder than other trucks out there. Who is it for? So they're trying to tell us who, in essence, should buy a Jeep Gladiator. It says here the 25 Gladiator is ideal for outdoor enthusiasts, off-road adventurers, and those who want a truck with a lot of personality that makes driving an adventure. I would sort of agree with the last part of that. I think it's for anybody who wants a truck that's fun to drive. It is fun to drive. It's very moddable. Lots of options, as I already mentioned, as far as the tops go and all of that. It's a blast. Who might want to look elsewhere? If you need a comfortable daily driver and a smooth ride, superior fuel economy, or a more refined on-road experience, other mid-size pickup trucks might be a better fit. Marginally, I would say. If you look at the whole truck overall, that might be true, but generally, I think if you're looking for a truck, and let's face it, no truck is a Cadillac or a Lexus. You're not going to have Audi ride in a pickup truck. It's perfectly fine. I disagree that you can't drive a Jeep or shouldn't be looking for a Jeep Gladiator if you're looking for a a comfortable, somewhat refined ride, particularly compared to what trucks used to be. Anyway, that's just a look at what the community out there says about the Jeep Gladiator. And I'm talking about the community of talking heads, those people who borrow them for a couple of days and really have no idea what they're like. Leave a comment. Let me know if you agree. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.